Welcome to the Contagious Victories podcast. Each week, we talk inspiration, explore possibilities, and share insights from creative perspectives. I'm Tori Blackmon, and I'm here to remind you that your purpose in life is to celebrate the victories, because victories are contagious. But I will sacrifice to you with the voice of thanksgiving, that which I have vowed I will pay. Salvation is from the Lord. Jonah 2:9. Go to the Contagious Victories group on Facebook and write your own post about what you're thankful for. I cannot wait to hear everyone's blessings. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Contagious Victories. I'm Victoria Blackmon, and if you are listening to this podcast right now, it's most likely because you have a curiosity for creativity and spirituality, or you just need a little pick-me-up to keep that head of yours held high. Well, I'm here to give you that little extra boost of motivation, a metaphorical hug, if you will. My background is in content creating and media production. However, over the last 27 years that I've been alive on this beautiful earth, I've accumulated some unique experiences and a personally unique point of view. I believe it's an obligation of mine and my God-given right to share what I've learned with others who are curious about the same things: media production, content creation, living well, being a spiritual person, those things. So here we are. Thank you for giving me your time and your attention today. I promise by the end of this episode, you will feel more free, more relaxed, and hopefully have a greater respect for yourself and others. That is what has inspired me to create Contagious Victories, and I hope that you listen to that tickle in your heart and go out and create something too. All right, since this week we're celebrating Thanksgiving here in the United States, I thought that I would have my lovely aunt, Dr. Jackie Whitehead, on as a guest. The reason I'm bringing Dr. Whitehead on is because her advice can help you stand out in a crowd. Her book, Etiquettes and Manners, Plain and Simple, is a lifelong reference for gaining and refreshing social skills that lead to success now and in the future. I'm so excited to welcome her on later on in the show, so stick around for a special treat that will help you out this Thanksgiving. Before we start talking Thanksgiving Manners 101, I want to get into the spirit of gratitude. Look around you right now and point to something that you are grateful for. Right now, no one else is in the room. I don't have my dogs bothering me, so I am literally pointing to the pumpkin weather candle that's sitting across the table from me because, boy, it makes me feel so warm and cozy, and I'm just really grateful for that small little thing. What's something that you're grateful for? It can be so simple. If you are sitting at work, then maybe it's the company nearby. If you are sitting at home, maybe it's the address that you possess outside the front door on your mailbox. That's a new one. That's something to be grateful for. If what else could you be thankful for? Whatever it is, find the feeling that lights you up from within when you think about it. Now I want you to close your eyes and take a big old deep breath. And let it out. Keep those eyes closed. But keep contact with that feeling of gratitude and see if there's anything inside of yourself that you can match that feeling with. What's something that's not in the room that you're grateful for? What is something that isn't so obvious right at this moment that you appreciate all the time? Let's bring those feelings forward. And if we want to take a couple more deep breaths as we think about those things, keeping our eyes shut. I want us to visualize a jar, a clear jar with a lid. Really, really focus on this jar. And if you have the space to do so, I want you to extend your hands out in front of you. And reach for the jar. Let's just really follow through with this feeling. And as we take the lid off of the jar, I want us to bring those feelings that we had of gratitude forward and start placing those things that we're grateful for inside the jar. And we know that whatever it is that we're grateful for is going to be okay inside of this jar. This is a magical jar. And if you put maybe your family or your house, your new address, like we were thinking about earlier, if you put those things inside the jar, they are going to be okay. They are going to fit nice and cozy. Nothing's going to be too crowded. This is just a little exercise that we're doing. So now that we have all of the things that bring us joy and that we are grateful for and that we appreciate, now that we have all of those things inside this jar, I want us to put the lid back on the jar and stow it inside of our heart, right under the surface of our shirt, of our sweater. If we have a warm sweater on for fall, we're gonna stow that jar of gratitude right here at the core of our being. Those things that we love make us who we are. They give us life. They give us joy. They are who we are. They are blessings sent from above, sent from God. They are blessings. We want to keep them close, not just around Thanksgiving, but all the time of the year. Anytime that we are feeling low or in trouble or sad or burned out or afraid or angry, we have those things nearby. And when we focus our attention on those things, then the rhythm of our heart changes. And it's the rhythms that create the frequencies, and the frequencies are what we experience outside of ourselves. So I'm just taking the long way of saying that we have so much to be grateful for, and when we focus on those things, our whole reality becomes those things. And at the end of the day, we're not the things that are causing us trouble. We're the things that make us happy. We're the love. We are the love. So just focus on those things today. Be grateful for those things. I am, and that's what I felt like sharing in today's meditation. So let's just take a moment to appreciate all of the items that are inside of our gratitude jar. Do you feel it? Do you feel the tickle of gratitude that just stems up from the core right above your belly button and makes its way past your heart, past your throat, all the way to your mouth, and then usually resides on your face in the little corners of your lips as a little smile? Do you feel it? I feel it. I'm so grateful right now, not just for my family, not just for my pets, not just for you as a listener. Although I am grateful for all of those things, what I mean is I am just grateful for life in general, life. And I hope that you find that same love for life, for God, for yourself, for what you're doing on this planet. I hope that you find that today. And if not today, then hopefully this weekend after you've been visiting with family or friends. And maybe if you're not doing that, hopefully you've had some time off to rest this week with the Thanksgiving holiday, and you're not getting too caught up in all the commotion of switching over from fall to winter in like 1 week turnaround time. And hopefully you're not getting all caught up in the over sensationalized Black Friday. Hopefully you and me and the world and the people around us are gonna be focused on how beautiful this life is, how we can encourage each other to create music and art and stories and just anything to make the world a better place. And hopefully we can just, have good vibes all around. That's all I'm saying. All right, now let's get to today's episode topic, which is Thanksgiving Manners 101. Like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I have some information coming from the author of the book Etiquettes and Manners, Plain and Simple. Yes, Dr. Jackie F. Whitehead has written a book based on the successful tips for successful people. Best Practices for Boys, Girls, and Future Leaders. Now, in this book, she goes through and teaches social etiquettes chapter by chapter and gives insight on everything from table manners to social media etiquettes. And today I've asked her to come on the show and give us her best tip for Thanksgiving. So, Dr. Jackie F. Whitehead.
Thank you, Victoria, for having me today to talk about my book, Etiquettes and Manners, Plain and Simple. Since it is the holiday season, I would like to focus on Chapter 8, and particularly the topic of being on time to a social event. This is the season where friends and family, they gather for a fantastic lunch or dinner. So it's important to be on time, mainly because no one wants to sit and wait on you to eat their turkey. It's only polite to be on time and ask the hostess if there's anything that you can do to help. Also, this gives you the opportunity to socialize with friends and family. Particularly if you are asked to bring a dish, you should arrive a few minutes early so that you have time to perhaps warm it up and then place it into the other foods waiting to be consumed by the gathering. No one wants to be wondering where you are and why they can't eat their turkey. So hopefully this will help just shine a little light on being on time to social gatherings, and hopefully everyone will have a great Thanksgiving and Christmas. Again, thank you for having me today, and I hope this adds to your podcast.
Oh, it certainly does, Dr. Whitehead, and I really appreciate the tip that you have on being on time. That's a note that we often hear in professional settings, but when we think about it in the context of family, it's not so much as being obedient as it is appreciating those moments that you get to spend with one another, like you said. If you arrive early, then you get to socialize with the people that you haven't seen or that you may not get to see as often as you like. So that's a good tip. As I was going through your book, Etiquettes and Manners, Plain and Simple, for the second time, because I have read it before, but I was catching up because I wanted to be prepared for this year's Thanksgiving. I was also focusing on Chapter 4, which talks about table manners and eating etiquettes. And I really liked how you suggest reframing how you look at manners and etiquettes and how good manners are supposed to take the struggle out of social eating and make it more enjoyable for gatherings and get-togethers, not more stressful. So when you learn the manners and the proper etiquettes, it actually is something that causes ease. I mean, it would be really easy to assume the opposite. But in fact, when you know your etiquettes and your manners and you know what you're doing, then you can be the best you can be and enjoy any social situation to its fullest. I love that. Well, Dr. Whitehead, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge. I really enjoy reading your book and always keep it close by and handy just in case I need to refresh or touch up on any of my etiquette before I go into any special situation. Listeners, if you're interested in picking up your own copy of Etiquettes and Manners, Plain and Simple, Successful Tips for Successful People, Best Practices for Boys, Girls, and Future Leaders, then I will link it in the show notes. Dr. Whitehead, who is also my Aunt Jackie, is a plethora of knowledge. She has had so many incredible life experiences, and I look up to her not only as an aunt, but as a person, as a businesswoman, as a leader. And this is just one of several books that she has where she shows off just how talented she really is. But truly, I keep this book handy just in case I need it for traveling or for having guests over. She also includes how to set a table or have a tea party, invitations, RSVPs, all kinds of things in this cute little blue handbook. So I will link it below in the show notes. It makes for a great stocking stuffer or a gift. And like I said, if you buy one for someone else, then you should also keep one for yourself because you never know when you're going to need it. Thank you again, Aunt Jackie. I'll have to have you back on soon to talk about some of the other incredible things that you've done. That's it for this episode of the Contagious Victories podcast. I hope our meditation session left you feeling more relaxed and confident about spending time with friends and family that you haven't seen in a while. I know that it's tempting to be tense. It is, especially with all of the extra social media being thrown at us. But truly, there is no pressure. These people love you. You love them. Enjoy the moments in person. Enjoy looking into each other's eyes, asking your loved ones to pass the cranberries, laughing with the cousins you haven't seen in a while, getting those extra squeezes from the aunts and the uncles and the grandmas. Just enjoy it, y'all. Life is so short, and we never know when our last breath is going to happen. So just feel the love and have a great, great Thanksgiving. God bless you. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of the Contagious Victories podcast. If the show inspired you to share your own victory story, I'm here to tell you the world deserves to hear it. Submit it to me online at toriblackmon.com. Review and subscribe if that feels right. Telling a friend about the show helps Contagious Victories to grow. Plus, we all appreciate a little sunshine. I'm Tori B. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you soon.